Welcome to another edition of Driving Perilously. Hoping I don't get into an accident. Not really. The part of your brain that you use when you're driving is complementary to the part of your brain you use when you're talking. If you're ever having to have a conversation, particularly with a male, do it when you're driving. The lack of eye contact will open him up, because as animals we are threatened when we're looked in the eye. We are threatened when we see people's teeth. That's pretty primal. Because we also like smiles. So I don't know, I guess that's a different part of the brain. One part of the brain is scared of teeth, and the other part of the brain is relieved when we see pretty teeth. Anyway, so welcome to another edition of Driving Perilously and not knowing what I'm going to talk about. Today is November. It's almost Thanksgiving, and Christmas music has been playing on one station for quite a while and another station for a while. And my feeling is that it's the big companies that started Christmas celebrations early. I don't know who owns the radio station that started playing Christmas music first, but I would guess it's a huge conglomerate of radio stations. I don't know who owns the one that started next, and I'm kind of surprised the others haven't jumped on board. So that really doesn't support my hypothesis, but my hypothesis is that Christmas celebrations were started early this year because of COVID, which I like to call the Corvid, or the Corolla. But because of the COVID, Christmas celebrations were started early. I think it was not a grassroots idea. I don't think it was something that just caught on from the public. I think it was big companies, because McDonald's was ready to do it and Dunkin' Donuts was ready to do it. Now that's only two retailers, or whatever. So maybe that doesn't support my hypothesis either. But my thinking is that Christmas celebrations were deliberately started early this year. And I think that's true. It's just a question of who started it. And it did overshadow Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving quite yet. And in the United States, at least, we used to have more of a separation between the holidays. A while ago, I started thinking of it as a holiday season that kicked off with a topsy-turvy, everybody pretend to be something they're not, celebration called Halloween, and then ended with New Year's. And so that whole stretch from October 31st to January 2nd or 3rd seemed like holiday, as opposed to the individual holidays that are represented there. But this year, it's more of one big holiday than ever, in my opinion. The song that Andy Williams does the best at is "The Most Wonderful Time of the Year," and there's a couple other good versions of it. Amy Grant's is very good, and scoffs at the idea of one big holiday where it tells scary ghost stories. We don't tell scary ghost stories at Christmas, but we do tell scary ghost stories at Halloween. So, Halloween used to be celebrated the last 2 weeks of October, max. Thanksgiving, the last 3/4 of November, max. And then Christmas, some people would kick it off right after Thanksgiving, and then some people would wait. But right after Thanksgiving was seen as kind of early. And now we've got Christmas music in full effect, and it's just past the middle of November. So why would the decision be made to have a Christmas season or holiday season longer than usual, to start earlier? Well, I don't know. One thing would be to sell more stuff. Our holidays, expressed and crystallized and pushed on us by Hallmark and so forth, you know, they are spread throughout the year to keep people buying stuff. The term Black Friday, when the businesses go from being in the red to being in the black to finally making a profit at the end of the year. You know, Christmas is obviously the big spending season. And of course, I'm talking about the whole season, not just that one particular day. But in the wake of the COVID, it does seem like a good idea to start some festivities early. But my suspicious brain always wants to know if the powers that be, the influencers, the controllers, and there's other more sinister words for them. You know, what are they getting at? As far as money goes, I know Christmas is a huge deal for retailers, but wouldn't we spend that money another time of year, even if we didn't spend it in December? I mean, generally speaking, I think some people are gonna spend everything they make. Some people are gonna save to a large extent, maybe spend 70% of what they make. And does having a gift-giving season make us spend more than we would? I'm sure we do spend more than we would if there wasn't that. But doesn't it seem like the people that spend every cent they make would still spend it, just at different times of the year? But anyway, maybe that's what economics is spending things at a certain time on a certain thing in a certain place. Maybe that's what the world economy is built on, and the money just gets traded back and forth and back around, and maybe there's something good about getting a big chunk at one time. I really don't know the answer to that one. I know working against that hypothesis is the idea of monthly charges, because they sure add up, and some people are perfectly willing to get a monthly charge that's not huge, that they would never pay for something that just lasted 6 months or something that just lasted a year. But if you add up all those monthly charges, they're paying quite a bit more than they would pay in a single purchase, and they don't mind that. Anyway, I guess both of them are just tricks to get us to spend more money, I suppose. Anyway, so we're in the holiday season. Happy holiday. Already people are getting mad that some people say holiday and some people say Christmas. And I have a whole video about Christmas versus Christmas, which I still find that very fascinating. I don't have anything to add about it. It's just a far out there hypothesis. So, the hypothesis that I'm talking about now is, did the holiday season start early, or more accurately, did the Christmas portion of the holiday season, kind of skipping over Thanksgiving, was that a reason, or did that just happen? Are we supposed to skip gratitude this year? Thanksgiving used to be my favorite because I like those foods. I like that time of the year, and it's a family thing, and it's not about who gets the most, right? You know, I don't want to eat the most, but it is about food, and I like food. And did we skip Thanksgiving this year? I hope not. Lots of things to be thankful for.